to NASCAST 500, the only NASCAR podcast that says yay to gay marriage. I'm Elizabeth Boxley. I'm joined by
Philip Matthew.
And Adam Ham.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Alright, we just got back from Sonoma, and I gotta say that was a shitfest of all shitfests.
Well, Pee Wee Herman Jr. won. I'm surprised. Sarcasm. But honestly, though, I could really care less about Cryle winning at Sears Point because, I mean, it was already planned from the get-go. I mean, the hype was about Kyle needs to finish 12th or better and get a couple wins in there, and he was fastest in practice, and everybody was talking about his Michigan wreck and how it's going to affect his chances to make the chase. And basically, the first part of the show, Kurt led the second most laps. He led 43, and then that fuckface in the 48 ended up getting out in front for 45 laps, which was a bore fest. And then right around about 8 or 7 laps to go, Kyle and Kurt ganged up on him, and he fell back, which was great because Chad thought the strategy would work and it didn't, and they don't deserve the win because they're pieces of shit. For Boyer to come home third, it's honestly surprising considering how shitty his year has been, and now that now that he actually has a top 3, maybe he can have a win, but I doubt it. It seems like Sears Point's one of his tracks where he'll do good at, but if you go anywhere else, nobody even looks at him. Harvick finishing 4th, everybody was talking about, well, Harvick's never won at Sears Point before. He's won at Watkins Glen when he drove for Childress, and everybody was talking about possibly him getting an upset, but he came home 4th after starting 17th. Pizza Face 5th, nobody was really watching him. Boomhauer finishing 7th. Who the fuck cares? I mean, he's not a road course racer. He doesn't consider himself to be, and he never will be. And if he wins a race on a road course, it'll probably be a rained-out race. Backstreet Boy rejecting 8th with Candy Cane, and then Newman went 9th. I'm surprised that Newman finished in the top 10 because it's been a really difficult year for the 31 team with Luke Lambert getting suspended and just having an off-and-on year for the 31. I'm really surprised by Hornish, who comes home 10th, because honestly, I thought out of all the cars that we picked our dark horses, I forget one of us picked Hornish to have a chance. It would have been cool if Hornish did get the victory, because it's been a really terrible year for RPM in general. For the fact that he finished better than Almirola, it's a little bit ironic. McMurray, it was in a position, I think it was somewhere midway through. He was in the top 5, and actually he started 2nd at one point. And I think he could have had a shot if he had more of a chance to do it. I'm really surprised though with Stewart. He had a good car all day, not enough to bring him to the front, but he's definitely had a good car, finishing in the top 12, which is good for him because he needs it after the shit year he's had. Larson in 15th. I mean, he started in the top. He started in the second row. So some people were picking him as a dark horse to win. He didn't do so hot. Neither did Gordon in his last Sears Point appearance. Won 3 straight races in '98 through 2000 when the Rainbow Warriors were at the top of their game, even when Raymond wasn't there. You talked about guys who really need breaks. Brad had a shitty day. So did Kenseth. I mean, Kenseth never he's not a road course racer by any means either. He's never had much luck at Sears Point or at Watkins Glen in general. The Bug-Eyed Dummy in 27th, I figured he'd finish a lot further. Pukeamania in 24th, and it's surprising on the lead lap. That's a bit surprising considering that she's one of the worst drivers of all time, if not the worst driver of all time. Allmendinger started on the pole. That's one of the big stories, that he only led 1 lap, and issues kept him out of the race for about 12 laps. I think he was about 15 laps down or something like that, and he had to go to the garage, which sucks for him because AJ's had a pretty bad year considering if you go back from 2014 to now. But I think the business will pick up. I'm really surprised though about Truex, what happened with him earlier. Him and David Reagan got into it. Reagan, I think, was channeling Brian Vickers in 2011 when Vickers decided to wreck Matt Kenseth all the time throughout the last couple chase races, and I think that's what he did. He got into it late with Edwards, and Edwards wrecked him, and most people believe it was karma for wrecking Truex. And I think it was Truex's 14th top 15 top 10s, straight top 10s, and it came to an end today at Sears Point, which sucks for him because Truex has had a really great year and he's still in contention to win the championship or at least be in the top 5 when it comes to the end at Homestead. Yeah, honorable mentions. One driver who was in the top 5 earlier on was Richard.
Oh, Richard!
And Richard coming home in 20th ahead of his come dumpster girlfriend. Who really cares though? Honestly, like I posted on the page, I said I really don't care who wins as long as it's not the 48. So whatever with Kyle. If he makes the chase, he's choking it like he does every year. It's not really going to be anything different. He's just going to be a little bit. He's just going to have a win to credit for it. But he has to finish in the top 12 and or at least get a decent finish every race in the next couple of races from Daytona all the way to Richmond, to possibly have a chance to make the chase, but I don't think it's possible. And the Busch brothers coming home second with Kyle first and Kurt second. I mean, we don't really see that many 1-2 finishes by brothers in this sport anymore. Bobby and Terry Labonte were the best at it, and then Kurt and Kyle came along, and now they finally got a 1-2 finish in a quote-unquote emotional victory. So whatever with Kyle. He can keep the win, but honestly, he'll just choke in the chase like he does every year.
I just want to try to say that if Kyle isn't Kyle supposed to be in the chase if he won? That's kind of stupid in a way if he wins the race and can't make the chase.
He has to be in the top 30 in points, which will go into what I was going to say because of my great job where my fucking C-word of a supervisor, the way she treats all the part-timers and everybody in general, I was able to go and I spent time to go and look up the points, and he's 136 points behind Cole Witt, and which is an average of, and who's averaging 28th place finish right now. So right now Kyle Busch would have to average 14th for the remaining, which has basically been 16 for a while. It got even higher once he went that last. Now by winning this race, he gets to 14th place for the remaining races, the remaining 10 races average to get into the chase, which, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what NASCAR wants, so more than likely it'll happen. I was intrigued by the points because Roid Rage is in, even though he's 17th, because of his win. No-Neck, Almirola, and Boyer are separated by 5 points. You had Hamlin. If Hamlin hadn't won a race, they're all separated by 8 points. But those 3 guys are battling for chase spots, and because right now, what is it? There are, I think, 9 winners or 10 winners or some crap like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 winners so far, or 11 counting Pee Wee. He's the 11th winner this season. So after that, right now, Jamie McMurray would be the first person, which shocked me. I couldn't believe it when I saw it this morning, that he's actually 7th in points, which is pretty interesting. That's the best that he's done probably a decade, when he was driving the Texaco Haviland 42 car for Sabatas and Ganassi. There was only 3 leaders in this race, and when you consider that led double-digit laps, and when you consider there's 5 total leaders, there's usually 5 leaders that lead double-digit laps, and maybe 7 or 8, and that's a 400 or 500 mile race. This is a 219-mile race at Sonoma. Sonoma's never is always done a worse job. It's more for the demo derby aspect Johnson, and let's be clear here. As long as Johnson is dominant in a race, it's god awful to watch. It's been this way ever since he's been in Cup. So whatever. The fact he didn't win is great for the world. Because I would have wanted to puke the fucking guy at set. Would have won his 5th race of the year if he had done that. I think Mike went and picked Sam Hornish. Either him or I picked Sam Hornish for. I think it was him because I picked Tony as a wild card.
I think he picked Clint Boyer.
Well, I think he picked Clint Boyer to win, and he picked Sam Hornish as a wild card. But I think that's something we should post all our picks. That would be something, but that's a whole other point. I felt bad for Martin Truex. He got used up by that no talent David Reagan. It makes sense that the new version of MW55 drives a 55 car now, because other than plate races, he's completely useless. And he used up Martin Truex, and he was pissed, and I'd be pissed too, because he had a decent car. He was close in points to Harvick. He had actually made up because Harvick had problems a couple weeks ago at Michigan, and he was relatively close. Then he goes and finishes 42nd. I mean, whatever. At the end of the day, he's going to make the chase. He's all good. Allmendinger started on pole and had mechanical problems. One of probably about 3 or 4 chances he really has to win. It's brutal burn for the 47 group. Casey Mears somehow or another got a top 10 qualifying run on a road course. He's the male Pukeamania, so I don't know how he has work. I'm pretty sure Ty Dillon's going to take his ride, but that's beside the point. Matt Kenseth qualified 3rd on a road course, but typical finish. The Tony had a 2-stop strategy, and they held firm on that 2-stop strategy, which was interesting, and it almost worked out. They were about a caution away from that really working, or a couple cautions away from that really working out, though the cautions actually saved us from watching Jimmy Johnson win. One of his best finishes of the year, basically. Boyer finishing 3rd, he had one of the best cars. It was basically the 41, 15, and the 48 that had the best cars. And the 41 didn't get the win, but he finished 2nd. And Boyer got his best finish of the year. So, I mean, whatever. I really don't care that Kyle Busch won. It's better than the 48. That's really all I'm going to take away from that. He needs to finish 14th average the rest of the year, which I strongly doubt that's going to happen, which makes Mike's point of putting Eric Jones in that car all the more worthwhile, and letting Kyle go and win every Xfinity and truck race that he wants to his heart's desire. So he has Sundays to go and spend with his demon child and wife that swallows.
Ooh. Okay, this Sunday was also the last day of McReynolds in the booth. Yay! Not.
Yeah, I mean, with McReynolds, I mean, it's basically a forced job because they wanted to put Jeffy in the booth. They decided that they wouldn't get rid of Darrell. For some reason, they have to keep Darrell because it is Fox. They have to keep all the blowhards on air. But Larry and Darrell both suck. But Larry is not as bad, minus his butchering of the English language. The telecast was god awful. I was just laying into Durwood, and I mean, Larry was bad, and Mike Joyce Squire's senility has been on fire for like the last 2 or 3 years. Like he doesn't even know where he is. He's turning into Ken Squire circa 1997. It's getting to be really ridiculous, and Fox needs to understand, which they don't care, because they're not marketing to real fans. They're marketing to morons. That their telecast is awful. It's it's just a waste of time. And Larry, getting rid of Larry isn't going to make it any better because you're going to have two or three, or you're going to have multiple Hendrick shills on there now instead of one. They replaced one Hendrick shill with the guy who actually is paid by Hendrick. In the end, it's whatever. Larry Mack leaving, it's not going to make a difference. They're still going to do a terrible job broadcasting the races. So
Okay. Adam had to leave for. Adam has to leave for a little bit, so it's going to be me and Phil for the rest of the show, hopefully.
okay.
So, did you see Jeff Gordon's new car?
Well, yeah, bringing back the rainbow paint scheme for the Bristol night race.
It's just too bright.
No, it's perfectly. I mean, whatever. The guy should have been driving this paint scheme all year. If his people, the Hendrick Motorsports, knew anything about marketing, they could have sold the shit out of the rainbow car. And every time he runs Exalta as his main sponsor, they could have been running this rainbow car, and it would have been a big marketing tool. Only running it at the Bristol night race, I think, is stupid because with the Southern 500 going and doing all kinds, they're doing all kinds of tribute schemes or throwback schemes. Why wouldn't you run it at the Darlington Southern 500? He's one of the greatest drivers ever at Darlington Raceway too. It just makes sense, but of course, common sense and NASCAR and motorsports really don't go together. I came to the conclusion that common sense just doesn't exist in life unless you don't have any money, and then that's a whole other thing. But I'm glad they finally brought it out. I think it's a worst kept secret kind of deal. You knew they were going to bring back the rainbow car at some point, and they chose to do the Bristol night race. They should have done Darlington, but they're doing the Bristol night race, which is 2 weeks before, which is even more idiotic. It's like, just wait till Darlington. Do it at both places. Hell, I'm pretty sure he's going to win at Bristol too now because of that. Because he's running that tribute paint scheme, that's the only way it can work. The way NASCAR does things these days, it's entirely possible they can make that happen. So I'm pretty sure Jeff will make the chase by winning that race.
Okay. Do you want to rant about this Mike Hembry dude?
I mean, he's a lame streamer. When I worked at Pocono a couple of years ago for another website, he was there, and he's one of the lame streamers. He's been there a while. He wrote a USA Today article. It's not as much about a rant as much as it is about what he was talking about for road course races. And there's another story about Truck Series qualifying that we can look at. But on the Prime Network, NASCAR.com, and franchising. But Hembry was talking about, should we add a road course? What should they do with the schedule? They're going to bring out the schedule earlier this year than they have before. The fact that the Truck and Nationwide, Xfinity series have awful schedules. They don't do anything about it because it's a joke and they're stupid. The Cup schedule's been 36 races since they went to the current kind of TV package, which is 2001. That's too many races. They run too many races at too many double date or two races at one track for that to be sustainable. Dover, Daytona, Michigan. There's all these places that are removing stands. That should be enough to be. That goes back to the common sense deal. You shouldn't be going to all these tracks twice. You could go to Road America, which is one of the greatest road courses in the world. It's a historic, legendary track. Going to Montreal, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, or Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Mossport, where they run the trucks, where Ron Fellows Trans Am GT driver, former NASCAR winner, owns the track. You could run. There's so many great road courses in North America. They ran in Mexico City. They're going to run the F1 Mexico Grand Prix for the first time since '92. That's a perfectly good racetrack, and you could sell that place out. The problem is you'd have to get the Burrito Man in there to run, which would defeat the purpose. But the the road courses in the chase, I love all kinds of racing. I'm steadfastly, I love all kinds of racing. The IndyCar race at California, even though 5,000 people may have been in the whole entire place, was one of the best races I've seen in years. The Cup race was not that good, and there really hasn't ever been a good race at Infineon there hasn't been a good one for a long time. Very long time. Because any bumblefuck can really win there. There's less talent involved in winning at Sears Point you need to go and win at Watkins Glen, because you need to be able to run fast and be able to make passes. It's a fast flowing racetrack. Not that many turns, not as technical, but less likely to involve, basically dumping somebody to get your position. I'm a proponent for more road courses. They go to all these different road courses. To make it viable as a viable product, they should be running 4 road courses, including one in the chase. Sears Point doesn't want to move in the chase. They could put Watkins Glen, but they don't want to deal with, they could use it's the New York market and run the first race there. But nobody's coming from the city to go 4 hours out plus to go to Watkins Glen. Even though it's a legendary track and it would look great. They should run the full track, 3.4 miles, and it would be a really good race. It's relatively good racing as it is, but to each his own. They'd rather go and watch cookie cutters at Texas or Kansas or all Kentucky or all these shitty racetracks that never put on good racing. Whatever. It was not a good article. It was typical of Hembry, but it goes to a point that I've always been a proponent. If you're gonna go and change, there should be a change to the schedule. You should be putting more short tracks. You should be putting more road courses, and let's get really crazy. Let's go and run a dirt race, whether it's Eldora, whether it's Knoxville, because the fact is they should have Iowa Speedway on the Cup schedule. They should run Iowa Speedway at least once. During the middle of the summer, they could make a triple header, trucks, Xfinity, Cup, or you could run a double header on Saturday, which is another idea they really should look into, is run a trucks and Xfinity day-night double header for one ticket, and then run a Cup race, a 400-lap Cup race on Sunday afternoon. And that would be, you could draw tons of fans. They're like, we don't have enough. The excuse they give, we don't have enough seats. That was when the old owners had it. Now ISC owns it. They just don't want to take it. They want to figure out a way to make the product worse there, so you don't have to bring a race there. It's in the middle of nowhere. Who the fuck cares? Darlington's in the middle of nowhere. Martinsville's in the middle of nowhere. Those are 2 of the greatest racetracks ever. At the end of the day, it shouldn't matter location when you consider they have all these great locations. The Chicagoland Speedway is in a freaking bodunk town, like 45 minutes to an hour away from Chicago. They call it Chicagoland Speedway. Kansas Speedway, they can talk about all the location. They never have a good race. Name me one time when Kansas Speedway's ever had a good race. You can't, because it has never happened. The logic that's involved with NASCAR, it pisses me off as a 20+ year fan, that they just go and beat the same thing over and over again, acting like it's going to change. It shows a lack of leadership, and the cards in the game, because the fact is there's 2 people that own most of the racetracks they go to. And that's why nothing changes. That's why it's an awful schedule. That's why we are never going to get a better product, because they think this product's good. And they have enough stupid idiots that drink the Kool-Aid. More road courses, more short tracks. Bring it back to the grassroots. Bring it back to what the series was, so that you can bring more driving ability back to it, less about, aero, less horsepower. I mean, whatever. You can have 900 horsepower, you can have 650 horsepower. You should have to drive the freaking car. It doesn't matter how many horsepower it is, but you should have to drive the car. It shouldn't be about sciencing the thing out. That's not what NASCAR was about when it was originally developed. So why is it that way now?
Good point. All right, NBC Sports NASCAR launch by numbers. Ready? 1 helicopter providing aerial footage. 2 open air infield set location for NBC Sports pre and post race coverage.
That's gonna suck during rain.
3 Daytona 500 victories captured by pre-race analyst Dale Jarrett. Shocking. 5 trucks that comprise Peacock One, NBC Sports state-of-the-art mobile production unit group designed in partnership with Game Creek Video. 12 members of NBC Sports NASCAR on-air broadcast team on site at Daytona. 16 race analyst Steve Letard's age when he took a job sweeping the floors at Hendrick Motorsports. Nobody
and
cares.
mowing Ray Evernham's lawn.
18 robotic I don't know why they put that there, but that's kind of stupid. 18 robotic cameras, some with high-speed heads capable of tracking cars topping 200 miles per hour. 19 NASCAR Xfinity Series slated to air on NBC and NBCSN this season. 20 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races on NBC, that's 7 of them, and NBCSN 13 this season. 21 number of NASCAR Sprint Cup races won by race analyst Jeff Burton. 23 HDK 4,300 cameras with 4K capabilities. 24 onboard cameras embedded with Sprint Cup Series cars. 7 total cameras on site, including in-car, robotic, hard, handheld, studio, jib, SSM, booth, beauty, pit, aerial, and gas cameras. Wow. 80 NBC Sports microphones placed throughout Daytona International Speedway. 195 NBC Sports Group personnel on site in Daytona. 250 plus NASCAR America shows on NBCSN since weekday news and highlight programs debut after the 2000 Daytona 500. And 150,000 feet of fiber cable, more than 28 miles, surrounding Daytona International Speedway. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm surprised you went all that way to go and read all of that. Basically, what that means is NBC is committed in their second shot with NASCAR because the first time they basically fell on their face. They tried to go the route of ESPN old school and then incorporating some of the bullshit that Fox Sports brought to it, and it basically failed. They did a better job presenting the race as in terms of treating the fans the right way, but they really failed on other levels. There's more opportunity, more access as long as you have NBCSN. The announced trio in the booth, you have 2 new guys that have never done it, and they're going to be doing it live starting Friday night. Thank the Lord we don't have to hear Adam Alexander and MW55 for the rest of the season. I thought for a second that they have the whole season with Xfinity. I don't know what happened there, but I'm glad that it's going to be on NBC. Hopefully they're going to have some other people like Ken Schrader or other people that actually have intelligence as well on. That's a miracle in itself. We don't have to hear those 2 freaking douchebags anymore, and hopefully they both suck a freaking tailpipe or go and get doing some with in some way, shape, or form. The infield studio, the outdoor studio, which if you go back to the old NBC days, they had basically a pit cart with whoever was the lead pit reporter, and then they had one of I think Wally or Benny or somebody on there with, and then they interviewed drivers on there. So now they have Voda, they have DJ, and these guys, Kyle Petty, Had to do it for Adam. In there, DJ was best while he didn't meet the level of his legendary father in the booth. He wasn't awful. He wasn't great. He was better suited to that infield studio, and I'm pretty sure because they have Voda in there and she's a true pro, I think the two of them will benefit. They'll play off each other along with Rick Allen, who over enunciates everything. uh, I think Rick Allen's been waiting for this role for his whole entire career. He could run with this. This could make him. He could get into that, you know, Bob Jenkins, old Mike Joy before the Squire senility started kicking in. Old school Ken Squire. That level. The the best. Play-by-play guys. Alan Bestwick, between his NBC, TBS, and ESPN, he had his moments of greatness, and then there's moments where people don't want to take him. I never really mind. I really didn't mind AB because I thought he really did the series justice. He knew he knew it. He knew, and the drivers and the teams respected him. It wasn't like Marty Reed or some of these other, like Jerry Punch was a great pit reporter, failed in the booth. Marty Reed was god awful. There's other people. Eli Gold, great on the radio, calls Alabama football, calls MRN. He's great. His TNN, when he was calling races on TV, didn't work as well. He's more of the radio guy because he has that drawl and he has that delivery that works for radio. Uh, in the end, I'm glad that NBC is here. I'm thankful, so we don't have to deal with Fox's bullshit anymore, ruining yet another sports coverage. They've done it since 2001. They just ruined golf too, minus like cum dumpster Holly Saunders, but which they don't use enough of, and they should put her in pumps and little dresses like they do with the Fox News chicks. That's what she's there for. But that's beside the point. Their pit crew, their pit road people are pretty good, for the exception of like Dave Burns. The infield's going to be good. It's to be determined. Jeff Burton has the potential. I wrote it on one of the pages to be like a new Ned Jarrett because he has the respect of everyone in the garage. He knows the ins and outs. His son is an up and coming driver. His brother Ward and Jeff came up together in the old school, trying to go and make it in Cup, and he could be a strong voice. And he was the mayor of the garage. He could be the kind of guy that really make NBC take off, because Rick Allen knows what to do. He called truck races for years on Speed, and he grew on me over time. I used to really be irritated by him, but he's become better, and I think this new role is probably going to fit him well. Letard is a fucking Hendrick shill, and it's getting to the point where it's obvious that they just have to hire a Hendrick shill for every broadcast. And it's Letard, for as nice of a guy as he may be, for as much as probably Raymond probably liked him when he was a young boy, he wasn't. I mean, yeah, he was Junebug's crew chief last year and miraculously won 5 races. There was nothing miraculous about that. That was a fucking fix. And then he was Jeffy's crew chief, and his claim to fame was choking the 07 championship to Johnson. He for as much as people talk about how Letard he wasn't that great of a crew chief. I hate to break it to people. He wasn't that good of a crew chief. At least Andy Petrie, he won with Harry Gane, he won with Dale Earnhardt, but you could say anybody could win with Dale Earnhardt. Larry McReynolds didn't, outside of that Daytona 500. I'm trying to think of other crew chiefs they've had in the role. Like other people, like Wally Dallenbach, it made no sense because he never won a cup race. I still don't understand what the fascination was by NBC. Like, they figured out they effed up there. Like, okay, we'll get a guy who's won Busch Series races, cup races, is a respected voice. Good. They had BP. You can't replace Benny Parsons. He was one of the great people. He was one of the great people in NASCAR history. And not only in the booth, but as a driver. He was a great driver. So having that crew chief, okay, you need a crew chief voice. They picked a young guy they can build around, who likes to talk, has got a little flashing, he's got respect in the garage area. So, and you got mail. So, I mean, I've been on for way too long, probably.
No, it's just you and me, so we got to fill. We have all the time we have. I don't know when he's gonna come back, so.
But I mean, I'm looking forward to NBC. I think I'm holding out hope because NBC has basically NBC and NBCSN, along with the CBS Sports Network and MAV TV, have basically taken a corner. They've cornered the market on motorsports coverage. Yes, Fox covers NASCAR poorly. They cover the Tudor Sports Car Championship, which is basically NASCAR sports car racing, and they cover MotoGP. MotoGP you can't really F up because that's a European feed, and they just have one of the Americans, either Ralph Shaheen or Bob Varsha, lead into it. They cover Le Mans. You can't really F up Le Mans because they have people that know this series like that. The NBCSN's been covering a lot of racing. They cover Formula One and IndyCar, and they do a really good job with that. Top flight coverage with that. So I'm hoping that with the NASCAR, it'll kind of roll over into that. They have good people there. Let's just hope that it works out this time because, frankly, you have to carry the load from July to November for the next 7 years. And if it sucks the first year, I'm pretty sure it's not going to get any better as you go along. It's basically how it went in the first time, which is why they got knocked out the first time. And BZF doesn't give a fuck because he's a clueless moron who drinks enough wars to go and drink himself into another death. But he should care of how the sport is presented because that makes a big difference to us fans. And, well, he doesn't care about me or you or Adam or whatever. He doesn't care about us. He cares about the imbeciles who can't read or whatever. They probably live at home and they can go and I pay for them to go and sit at home, or some bullshit, or we pay for them to sit at home on whatever deal they got from the government. And they play to those people. And that's why the sport is one of the many reasons why the sport is failing. But you know, I'm better off probably talking about all the things that pissed me off about the sport and need to be changed and write it because I can't really get to that.
Okay, there's one more news. Roma Downey and Mark Burnett are producing a drama about NASCAR racing. No. Keep that chick from Touched by an Angel away from TV anymore.
Wasn't that, what the hell is her name?
Roma Downey?
Roma Downey, but I'm thinking of the other chick, Jane Seymour,
that's Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Oh, well, alright, whatever. So I found her to be, I like older women like that, so that's alright. So beside the point, I mean, Mark Burnett, I mean, they're so desperate. I mean, NASCAR's so desperate for attention, they're going to do a scripted series. Oh, they do have a scripted series. It's called the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Every single week. Anytime the 48 or the 88 wins, it's a scripted series. If the 10 wins on Sunday night, that's a scripted series. You don't need any help with that one. Fuck that show. It's not gonna come off. It's not gonna come off, and even if it is, it's gonna get canceled. Like most of the shit that's on TV. It won't even last 6 weeks.
All right. We'll go to the Coke 0400. Adam, if you're listening, you can post your predictions on the Facebook group page. Oh, Bobby Labonte's in his race. Wow.
Take him as your dark horse.
Yeah, I might, but he's not gonna win. He's not gonna win. So, I'm gonna have to go with, and I'm gonna get yelled at for this. Candy Cane. Something. I think he need. I think he can. I think he's good. He's really good at this track, so I think there's a win up for him. And my dark horse is Bobby Labonte, which he's not gonna win. Um, Jeff Gordon is my dark horse as well.
Jeff Gordon has won I don't know how many races at Daytona. You should just say Jeff Gordon is your winner.
Jeff Gordon hasn't won a race this whole year so far. Unfortunately,
yeah,
it's going to be my
Candy
dark
Cane
horse.
wins one race a year. It's usually late in the chase, and Candy Cane. Okay, I mean, all right, it's your show. The for me, I'm gonna go. I was thinking about this earlier. I'm picking a Hendrick 48 or 88 win because that's what they want. They want to piss people off on the first NBC broadcast, so let's just go and put Junebug or Johnson to go and win on Sunday night. So then people are going to be drunk and unhappy going to work on Monday, like me. Ruined my whole weekend plan. I was going to hang out with my buddy Randy and his wife and their baby and watch the race, and instead I'm going to be going home watching this bullshit when the 48 and 88 win, because it seems like Hendrick has this advantage at Daytona and Talladega, which is a little bit questionable, but hey, it's NASCAR. Um, in terms of a dark horse pick,
Sorry.
in terms of a dark horse pick, Ryan Blaney is in the 21 car. He finished fourth at Talladega, and for some reason the team told him to not even make a move at the end of that race, and I still don't get that. It defeats the purpose of racing to not even make a move. Look, at the end of the day, you're not even running for points. Who the hell cares that he finishes 30th if he had made a move to go for the win? It shows more that Ryan Blaney, is up there to go and then make a move than not. And the Wood Brothers, it's Daytona. It's the the first race with NBC. There's a lot of things going July the 4th weekend. So I mean, it's a case. It's a case of I'll take him as my dark horse along with Richard, because to as the heebie-jeebies to pull it against his head-standing little bitch of a girlfriend that can't drive. Richard has done well on the plate tracks. Daytona in July, what was it, 2011 was the first, or 2010 was the first time they had the new COT in the Nationwide series, and he almost won that race. And I think it's a wild card. Last year, Eric Almirola won this race on a rain delay finish, so it wouldn't surprise me that he would win his first career Cup race. Greg Biffle won there, what was it, 12 years ago for his first race. And so I'll take Richard, 2 Fords as wild cards, and in terms of the actual, I'm picking Hendrick guys because that's just how it seems things work out.
Okay, for the Subway Firecracker 250, I will not be watching it because I'm going to Ocean City, Maryland.
Good for you.
Yeah, my parents forced me to go because they want me to have a life. Let's see. Let's see. 1, 2. All right, so there's 3 Sprint Cup. Oh, well, no, there's 4 Sprint Cuppers in this race. So,
5.
Oh, who's the 5th?
Reagan, Logano, Dylan,
Oh, okay, see.
Kane, Eric Almirola. 5 Cup guys.
Oh, David Ray. Well, he's not part. But never mind. I'm not even going there. That's too confusing. Everything confuses me nowadays. For Sprint Cupper, I'm going to have to go with Joey Logano.
Mm-hmm.
And for my Xfinity driver, I'm gonna have to go with. Goddamn, why is it so hard? Bubba Wallace.
Okay.
My dark horse will be. Damn, there's not. Brendan Poole will be my dark horse because he needs to win one of these days. And Brendan Gaughan, he also needs a win.
Yeah, Brendan Gaughan is not. He started out strong this year, and I think probably being in that piece of shit car in Cup, it's probably not helping his cause. Um, in terms of Brendan Poole, we pick one of us picks him every week, which I don't think helps him either. But in terms of the winner, I'm picking Ty Dillon. I seem to do these picks as much to get a rise out of Adam as much as it is anything, because frankly, it's hilarious. It's the same way as if he had started picking Pukeamania, and then I'd just go and lose my shit. But hey, at the end of the day, I think Ty Dillon. It's a Chevy. It's a Yangling light car. I'm going to be in Nazareth this weekend, celebrating 4th of July weekend with my buddies. With my buddy Tom and his fiance and their baby, and it's gonna be freaking cool. Fireworks and hanging out and getting crazy and getting away from this fucking place. I figured Ty Dillon, he needs a win to gain some points on Chris Buescher. I was gonna go Buescher, but I just don't. I don't know. He finished second in February to his teammate after pushing his teammate to the win. In terms of if I'm going to pick a Cup regular to win, it'll be Pizza Face because he's the best out of those 5 that are available. And my dark horse pick will be J.J. Yaley, who drives the 28 car Greg Mixon Toyota. He ran well at Talladega for most of the race, and I think he got shuffled at the end. And it is a plate race, so I mean, you might as well take somebody who's like out off the wall. And J.J. Yaley, he was a Triple Crown winner in USAC way back when in 2003, and Joe Gibbs thought he had the second coming of Tony, and instead he had the second coming of Casey Mears.
Okay. All right. Drivers of the week. I'm going to go with. I have to go with Tony Stewart. I mean, he had a solid, good run. He had a good car by the end of the 20th place, but still, he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, for me, freaking diehard fan, I was glad to actually see him running up front for once, qualified well. They held their strategy, and frankly, they should have gotten a top 10 finish. But the biggest pit stop they had all year, the first pit stop that really had meaning under yellow late in that race, they fucked it up, and he went from probably getting a no worse than like a 7th place finish to having to drive back to get 12th. Excuse me. So I mean that's kind of brutal. He had handling issues as per usual because Chad Johnston sucks dick and those cars suck. I don't know how the 4 and 40 it'll never make sense. My Nate, one of our big supporters, we say this he says it's like, how the heck can the 4 and the 41 always be good?
All right, Adam's back. Go ahead, continue.
How can the 4 and 41 always be good and the 14 be this shitty? It makes no damn sense. But I agree with that. I'll give my driver of the week to Boyer because he's had an awful year this year, and if Tony Stewart knew what was good for him, he'd hire him to drive that 4th car in a second. Because he can drive if you gave him real equipment. Drive for MW 55 is basically destroying his career, and he's former winner at Sears Point, and he's a really good driver. It's a shame that he has to drive for such a shitty owner and basically manufacturer too.
Hey,
So
yeah,
I'll
you're
give it to
back.
Clint Boyer.
Hey, you're back, Adam.
Yep. Had to go pick up my tire for my truck, my pickup truck. So fill me in. What did I miss?
Well, we talked about
Picks.
yeah, we did picks. So if you want to do it, if you want to do it now, go ahead. Go ahead. We also talked
Okay.
about nonsensical news stories.
All right. So
It's
let's
basically the
see.
Sprint and Xfinity this week
All
in
right,
Daytona.
which is good. I mean, hopefully, I'm pretty sure the Xfinity race will probably put on more of a race than the Sunday race will.
Guaranteed that.
Let me see. For the
How about your thoughts on
Xfinity,
NBC?
hmm.
How about your thoughts on NBC?
Oh yeah. Start with that.
Oh, for real. So NBC's coming back, which is good because I'm tired of Fox and their nonsense. They're nonsense. Mike Joy's starting to lose his mind. Darrell's still acting like a drooling idiot, and Larry Mack's just there just for decoration. But he also spews stupid shit. But you also talk about the other shows at Fox, like Adam Alexander and MW55 and all those other idiots who don't know how to call a race to save their lives. NBC came around in 2001 after the old deal was terminated with ESPN, TNN, and TBS and CBS,
CBS.
and it went to Fox, TNT, and NBC for years, and then from '07 it's been Fox, NBC, and ESPN. But now that
TNT and
TNT and
ESPN.
ESPN are gone, which is good. I mean, I liked ESPN when Alan Bestwick was on it, and even Jerry Punch. But Marty Reed just destroyed the Cup telecast, and it made me even cringe to even watch it most of the time. You look at NBC's broadcast team when they first started with Alan Bestwick and Benny Parsons, the late great Benny Parsons, and Wally, who seemed to do better at NBC than he ever did on TNT. And then you have Marty Snyder in the pits, Ralph Sheheen, a couple other people, Dave Burns, Mike Massaro, who made their way to ESPN, and now are back with NBC again in 2015. They put on great shows most of the time. Even when Bill Weber took over, it was better to watch than Adam Alexander butchering the English in NASCAR language. You talk about how NBC started for the first 5 or 6 seasons in Winston Cup, Nextel Cup, whatever you want to call it, in the Busch Series, and they made it seem they actually did a great job with their telecast. They beat the shit out of Fox for many years, and now they're doing it again in 2015. And the best part about it is we get them for the rest of the season and not have to deal with these guys in the booth anymore. I mean, he'll still be a part of NBC, but not a part of their broadcast team. He'll only be in the outside studio or whatever the hell they're going to do this year. Glad to see NBC coming back because we need an actual professional channel doing NASCAR Cup races and Xfinity races, and we haven't gotten that at all in the last 15 years or so. So now I'm going to go and pick out my picks for Xfinity. And like I said, most of the time it always seems to be a better show than the Cup race for some reason, which is a little bit sad if you think about it. My first pick, I'm gonna go with Xfinity drivers first. That's how I always started out. I'm gonna go pick Bubba to get the win. I mean, he's got to cheese at Ford this weekend. We every week one of us picks Bubba. It's mostly Phil, but I pick him too because the kid's deserving. He needs a win, and he's gonna win. And just needs to just wonder when it's gonna happen. So I think Bubba. My second pick, I'm gonna go and pick. I'm not gonna pick Reed because he ain't gonna repeat. Probably gonna pick. Not Brennan Poole. Every time I pick Brennan Poole, he runs shitty. I'm gonna go out.
Elizabeth already did as a dark horse.
Exactly. My second pick, I'm gonna go with Chase. Eventually, he needs to win, and what better place to do it than at Daytona, 4th of July weekend on the 4th of July at a track where his dad's been really great. Won his last race with the Melling team there in '91 in C400. and Bill's always had success there. His 2 Daytona 500 wins, so I figured Chase will break into the win column there. I'm gonna with my Cup picks. Of course, there's Cup drivers in every single race. It seems like for the Xfinity Series. First pick, I'm gonna go with Pizza Face. I mean, obviously the 22 car, whoever's in it wins. Ryan, whether it's Ryan Blaney, Brad, Logano, or anybody else that's in the 22 seems to do well. So I'm picking Logano, even though I can't stand him. He's a bit of a punk. My second pick, I'm gonna go and pick. I'm picking. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm gonna go and pick Candy Cane because I mean it seems like whenever Candy Cane runs in trucks or Xfinity nowadays for Hendrick or Junior, he seems to win or seems to do good. Hence, quote unquote, what he did at Charlotte a couple of weeks ago or about a month or so ago. And my dark horse in the Cup category, I'm gonna go with Reagan. We talked about how he's channeling Brian Vickers in 2011 when Rick Vickers decided to wreck Kansas all those races. Even though that he's driving for Gibbs, which is a little bit ironic considering he was in the 18 for a couple months replacing Kyle, and now Crutch Boy won the race at Sears Point. My dark horse for the Xfinity guys, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Dakota Armstrong. I don't know why, but something tells me the 43 is going to do something on Saturday.
4th of July, yeah.
On 4th of July, a year later after Eric Almirola won the Cup race at Daytona, which was rained out, which was one of the shittiest races of the season. But then again, most every race last year was trash.
31 years after Richard Petty won his 200th race on 4th of July, Dakota Armstrong
that'd be a little bit ironic.
They would be pulling one out of his fucking ass because he hasn't done anything since he was in ARCA for fucking Venturini. So that definitely, yeah. I picked, what was it? Who the hell did I say? I can't even remember 5 minutes back now. In terms, I picked J.J. Haley because he ran well at Talladega, and that's kind of in the same realm. But,
my Cup picks. I'm going to go with the Cup guys now. We haven't seen a good July Daytona race in Cup for quite a while. Last good one I remember was 2012 when Stewart won. Figure we're going to hopefully see a good race, which if it's on NBC, it probably will be, but I doubt it considering the level of crappy product that we've seen at Talladega and Daytona, so we probably won't see it. First pick, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Hamlin. I figured Joe Gibbs has to rebound again after Hamlin and Kansas finished shitty. Even though Kyle won the race, they want one of the Gibbs guys winning again. And even Hamlin's never really won a points race at Daytona. He's only won the shootout twice in 06 and 2014. My second pick, I'm going to go and I'm going to pick, let's see. I'm going to pick Kurt because Kurt's never won a points race at Daytona. He's won the shootout in 2011 and one of his last wins with Penske. He did decent in the race last year. Didn't have a chance to win, but he had a good-looking paint scheme. I figure he'll have a shot to get up there and do something. My dark horse for the Cup guys. 2 dark horses. My first dark horse... I'm going to go out and say, I hate to say it like this, but I think Stewart is a dark horse. I think he could do it. He's won the Coke 400 many times, back-to-back in 05 and 06, won that thriller in 09, which I updated the group photo of Kyle getting wrecked by Stewart, which is one of the best races and finishes of all time. And
I lose my shit every time that I see that video. I don't know why, but it's just awesome.
Yeah, me too. It seems, and it's funny, when I first watched that race and I saw Stewart spinning Kyle, I lost my shit and I basically threw my voice out, but for good reason. So I figure Stewart will get his 5th Coke Zero 400 win and do it again in the 14 car and finally get back to victory lane and prove to everyone he can actually still win a race. My second dark horse, I'm going to go out and say Ryan Blaney in the 21. I picked him as an early favorite to win the Daytona 500. That didn't work. I picked him as an early favorite to win Talladega. He did good there. So I figure the good luck will catch up with him and he'll get back to victory lane in the 21 car. And ironically put the 21 car back in where his last one, which was 2011 with Trevor Bayne in Daytona.
Oh, by the way, AJ Allmendinger's going to be on the show tomorrow.
Allmendinger's gonna what?
Well,
AJ Allmendinger's going to be on the show tomorrow.
which is a talk show during the middle of the day here in the East Coast. It's on ABC, and I think 12 noon.
1 o'clock.
Or 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna watch it because I gotta be at work at 2 o'clock. So.
Well, he's got a. I mean, the fact is, you can't deny that AJ's got a big time personality. So I mean, he'll probably fit there, and he likes food, and they got some good people on that show. It's an interesting show. So I mean, who knows? If I'm home, I might actually see it, but I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff to do before I go to PA on Friday.
All right. What else? What other news stories did I miss besides the picks?
The driver of the week.
Drivers of the week. Okay. Well, we only had one race, which was at Sears Point. First driver of the week, I'm gonna go out and pick Kurt because I mean his finishes have been fantastic ever since getting with Tony Gibson. Since he got with the 41, since him and the 41 team have been working hard together, I figured that it's building up to be a Kurt Busch, Jimmy Fennig type of deal where Kurt and Jimmy won the championship in 04 for Jack Roush. Figured the same could apply there. Finished second to his brother. I mean, I hate Kyle Busch, and everyone knows that. And the people who don't know it, I'm telling you now, I do not like Kyle Busch. I have not liked Kyle Busch ever since I started watching NASCAR, and never will like Kyle Busch. But I will say that the brotherly finish was a cool thing to see, especially since Kurt and Kyle really don't talk to each other much on the track, and they have they've had butted heads with each other. Hence the 07 All-Star race when Kurt was in the 2 and Kyle was in the 5, and they ended up wrecking each other. And I don't think they talked for about another 6 months after that. And now they celebrated in Victory Lane after Kyle got rid of his crutches and had demon spawn Brexton. And so I figured that was a good one. My second driver, I'm gonna go and pick. I'm gonna pick Hornish. I said earlier before I left that the 9 team has been. Actually, Richard Petty Motorsports in general has been absolute shit this year. Even though Amarola made the chase last year, he's running shittier than he did last year. Hornish, I thought he could do better than what he's done this year, considering his past in Cup with Penske. But it's just been an atrocity to witness. But with a 10th place finish and then a 6th place at Talladega, I think that's where he finished at Talladega. He needs the top 10 finish after the season he's had and might not even be back in the 9 car in 2016. They might even just shut down the 9 team in general because they don't have a full-time sponsor every race. It's always Medallion Baker, Camping World, or some other sponsor, Twisted Tea, or these other sponsors that end up stepping up for 9 races. Jacob companies ended up sponsoring the 9 car and they finished 10th, so
which is a medallion group thing, so
that explains it. I'm like, I never even heard of it, so that explains it. My third and final driver of the week, I'm gonna pick Stewart because after the season or the seasons he's had after winning at Dover in 2013, it's just been absolute trash. Breaking his leg in 2013. Well, 2012 was his last good season. He had a couple victories that year, including at Daytona. But 2013 was an all-right season before he broke his leg. After that, he ran like shit when he got back in 2014. Then, of course, the Kevin Ward situation, that didn't help much. And I think that's something that's affected his driving. And even though I'm a huge Tony Stewart fan and will be till the day he gets out of that race car, his glory days have been long gone, but that still doesn't mean he's not a great driver and a great ambassador and representative of NASCAR. So good on Stewart, and glad he finished well. I really thought he could have finished in the top 10 or top 5, but 12th is better than finishing where he's been finishing almost the entire season.
Okay, questions. Did Casey Mears literally drive the wheel off that car?
Yeah, that was a good one. That's typical of Casey Mears. That's the only way he can make it on TV is when he hits the wall or goes and frickin' breaks an axle. I'm pretty sure Booty's wheels are on pretty tight, and somebody on that team effed up that one, but oh well.
Okay, with Fox going bye-bye for the next 8 months, What will Darrell and Monwood monkeys do in their spare time?
Well,
I don't even know.
Durwood will probably go and fuck the side of his outhouse or something, while Mikey will keep on doing abusing animals and butchering the English language, calling truck telecasts, and putting us through a lot of pain with that, and then hopefully he finally just comes out and gets it over with for the sake of society, because everybody knows it, except the general morons that they market to, that he's an embarrassment to. I mean, he's an embarrassment to the gay population, especially with the way he flitters around dropping tacos on his boyfriend Denny Hamlin's car. But that's a whole other thing.
Let's see. We always talk about that question. How crazy would it have gotten if Richard had gotten the victory?
You might find out on Sunday. Oh, Richard! If he wins on Sunday, it's gonna be unbelievable. It might be one. It might go on down in the top 5 shows of all time, because we're just gonna have to. We'll have to do an Richard count at that point. It's gonna be, and we need to get somebody else in on it. Probably Mike would have to be in on it, because
Chuck.
No, I don't think Chuck would participate as much as Mike in the Richard deal, because he's in on the nicknames and stuff.
Well, Chuck's going to the race on Sunday.
Yeah, he could probably give us insight on the great construction job where they're taking out like 40,000 seats because they can't sell them out anymore with the great package they have at Daytona.
Okay, JP. We love you, and we thank you for letting us let our show be on your network. But in this case, we're not answering your question.
Yes, I am. I would absolutely. I'm fucking.
I would too. Unfortunately, even though she looks like a stick and a twig or whatever, I would for sure. I mean, she's got no ass and whatever, but hell, I'd do it anyway. Who cares? It's for $1 million. Hell yeah! But I'd make sure I forget about it afterwards.
For $1 million, I'd give it to her in her back door. She needs it in the worst way. She might actually get a personality. I might drop some personality inside of her.
Oh, guys. Oh, you backstabbers, you.
Come on, you'd go for $1 million.
No.
Kid, because we care. Oh my God, he's going Chris Myers. It's bad.
No.
I need to get my new hairpiece.
Yes, but Danica, no.
Oh, come on. For $1 million? Seriously?
I'm not touching Danica with a 10-foot pole. Forget that. If it
not
was done for Joe Cobb,
well, at least he's not like Aaron Crocker, but I mean...
Yeah, Aaron Crocker's like the male Jeff Gordon. Like, basically, she's Jeff Gordon with makeup. I mean, let's be clear on that. That's the only reason why Raymond went and dropped his first wife to go, because he has a fatal attraction to Jeffy, so he had to get the female version, so he got fucking Aaron Crocker.
Alright, how many times will Kyle Pace say, "these guys," or "that's incredible," during the Coke
0400
at Daytona?
Not enough for Adam to lose his shit. It would be hilarious though if he. We'll go with 3. I'll go with 3 because it's a great number in NASCAR.
5.
I'm gonna go with 11.
All right.
Okay. Did anybody in the group huff some paint rather than watch the god awful Fox broadcast? I was working, so no.
I was watching the race with the safer barrier, and I was drinking, so I might have been huffing something. I don't know. It wouldn't paint, but.
Well, Nate, join in and make us die laughing with his great questions. I would just give another 2 weeks before he comes back. He's got a lot of family issues. Family's first, and the podcast. So. Yeah,
he was back this week working, and he's still recovering, and his wife's still recovering. So
they both had heart attacks?
What was that?
They both had heart attacks?
No, his wife had a heart attack, and he had an asthma attack. And
I had one of those. I understand.
Yeah,
It's not
so
that good.
he's been a little under the weather anyway, and we're shorthanded because my dumb c word of a boss can't hire people to stay because she's such an awful boss. She's running everybody out the door. So he wasn't able to post anything or not much this week.
I was, yeah. Did Elizabeth play the theme from Pee Wee's Playhouse when Cryle crossed checkers? Again, I was at work.
So you did today. You did
Yes.
for this show.
Although when I saw Samantha crying, I was banging my head against a bar.
That must have hurt.
Oh God, yes, I was upset. Can Philip and I kick Dave Moody in his nutsack or lack thereof and get away with it? No.
Yes, we need to.
If I go and wear a hood and a hat, I'm pretty sure I could do it at Darlington.
Okay, with the possible rumor that Miss Hummer could possibly return to Cup in 2016, which companies smoke so much heroin that they even remotely consider sponsoring that cum duster that mostly people.
Nice. Nice. You got a cum dumpster line on the question. That's pretty good. That's
Receptacle.
yeah. I mean, stay free maxi pads, Vagisil.
Victoria's Secret.
No. She doesn't have a body. You need a. I mean, even though like fucking Heidi Klum has no body anymore. There's like,
Do
oh
I have a
god,
body? Be honest.
like something like what the hell is the Summer's Eve? Summer's Eve is another one. Um, the Strawberry Douche. Um, Tampax, tampons, Zest, because you know that her and Richard use that on each other, and or maybe they'll do some cross promotion and they'll do what's the Irish Spring?
Holy.
She'll drive the Irish Spring car just for some cross promotion.
Hey, the U.S. is facing Japan in the women's final.
Well, that's pretty much what it was supposed to be, so that's good.
Japan's gonna win.
US is gonna win. USA all the way.
I was rooting for Canada. So.
Yeah, well, they had a good run.
Yeah. All right. Does Boomhauer secret fly the Confederate flag when no one's looking? Yeah, this was controversial. He was talking about in an article that he does not want to see the Confederate flag at NASCAR races.
Yeah, that's why I said, does he secretly do it? He probably just said it just to keep up appearances.
Because BZF doesn't know that the Confederate flag has been around for hundreds of years, and you know, NASCAR, when you consider the beginnings of the sport, had some connection to it. All of a sudden, oh good lord, we can't go and have the Confederate flag. I'm a brown guy. I can't go to frickin' Darlington or Talladega. I'll probably get shot. But the fact of the matter is, they had the Rebel 500. You know, they had all these damn references to the flag. You know, they at some point you have to go and understand that he wants to get away from the history like it didn't exist, because he doesn't know anything about the sport. He's so high and drunk that he doesn't know that there's the connection to history. I'm gonna go and I think Adam has something for us on this issue.
Dang, man, you're getting old. I'm sitting up there harder than dang old Wedgie City up here, man.
I'm telling about that time over there when what the hell is Dale Jr.'s girlfriend's name?
Amy.
When Amy went and she told me I couldn't go put out that rebel flag, and I didn't even know what it meant. And Daddy didn't tell me that the rebel flag was a bad thing, and so Carrie didn't tell me that either when I went and ran into the wall that time, and then and Kelly, when I was done fucking her, I just didn't know, like the you know that rebel flag. I mean, they don't want me to go and talk about that, And old Sterling didn't tell me about that either. You know, we can't have that Confederate flag, Confederate, and you know, even though most of my fans they wear the Confederate flag and nothing else, I can't support that, and I'm telling about that time over there, and Nationwide's on your side, and Mountain Dew,
Which, by the
and
way, Nationwide was sponsoring a little fundraising thing for a charity where you can just ride shotgun with Dale Jr.
I'll go give you a ride, and I'll go hit the wall pretty hard, and we'll go have a gay old time. You know, don't take that the wrong way, gay, not that kind of gay. You know, even though it's gay marriage, and people thought I was too, and but no, I got Amy, and I are gonna make some kids, and we're gonna have some Coca-Cola drinking babies, and Pepsi drink. No, make sure Pepsi drinking babies. That's what Mr. H say, and that's what it's all about. I'm gonna probably win at Daytona this weekend. I'm gonna probably make no sense. So get ready for that, damn it.
Okay, was Cousin Curl being serious in his post-crash interview when he said it might have been my fault when it was when it was 1,000% his fault.
It's roid rage. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He didn't get a shot in the ass from the Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonator that he probably works out with. He caused his own. It was 1,000% his fault, and he took Reagan out, which did us all a favor because a douchebag intentionally wrecked Martin Truex. And he did us a favor, but he couldn't get it because it's typical Carl. That's his Eddie Haskell impression. Oh, woe is me! I didn't know I went and wrecked somebody. It's like, hey, asshole, you wrecked David Reagan, right? Deal with it.
Okay, how sad were Johnson's mindless drones when the 48 lost the lead and kept falling back late in the going? I don't really want to know.
Poor Johnson, you needed that win. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay, we already discussed that earlier. Did Fat Tony finally remember where they hit the gas pedal? Oh, come on, Dennis.
That's funny, but goddamn, that's low.
Oh, I love it. All these people trolling the guy. It's great. You know, because Dennis, more power to you. But I'm pretty sure Smoke has done more on a toilet than the driver that you're like has in his whole entire career. So that's great.
Okay, this one we already talked about earlier. We talked about
It was
earlier.
rigged. How in the mother fucked it?
We discussed this earlier, so.
When will we see the big one at Daytona?
Nah,
there's got to be at least two. I think there'll be two. One of those starting parks that have a chance because it's a plate race, because plate racing's a joke. They'll probably go and cause a wreck, and then there'll be another smaller one.
Okay, why the fuck is the race held on a Sunday night rather than a Saturday night? It would
for NBC.
It would have made more sense. Go ahead.
They requested Saturday, Sunday scheduling because I guess they were worried about the Cup race being on July the 4th and nobody watching it, so they moved it. Plus, it was their first race back after 7 years or 9 years, so they wanted to have it in prime time on NBC.
Yes. That's a question from Michael Sanders, who's not on. Did Mike Joy get his ass handed him by Fix Sports after making that no crutches joke after Kyle won the race? I didn't hear the joke, so.
No, it doesn't matter. It was a passing comment by Mike Joy. He was trying to be witty, which is asking a lot from him.
Okay, when will Kenny Kane admit that he still feels bad about getting rejected from the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC? Never.
When he comes out of the closet.
Okay, I'm not going to answer that because we're better than that. Why is George Gordon's failure tour not doing as well as most of us thought it would?
What? When will Jeff Gordon? Because he's got the R&D stuff. And instead of candy cane this year, I guess that might be the answer.
Okay. How long before it takes Elizabeth and myself to die from laughter during Philip's epic Dale Jr. Boomhauer speech? Well, it took us 2 seconds before we died of laughter.
I don't know why I do it. It just comes out of me because I'm Junebug, and it's Daytona. Flat flag, Daytona. That's my home. I love Daytona. I love them plate races, and just like my daddy, he could see the air, and I can see the air too. It usually involves some Mountain Dew and some Mountain Dew Baja Blast and some Budweiser and some of them other things and some weed. And Amy goes and tells me I can see the air too, and she sees the air too when she's going and having sex with all the other guys on my pit crew. But it's a pretty good deal, I have to say. It's Daytona, so I'm happy, and I'm probably going to win this weekend. So she'll take that.
Hey, man, it's 911. I ain't in here, no Megalo Mark, man. Go dig blue, man. It's a fire day. And it don't that gun, that come out everywhere, man. I don't know, so Nick, man, run out there. I don't know if he did Chuck Mangione gonna be come down here.
Sir, you are going to have to speak more slowly. I cannot understand you.
Dang, Megalo Mark. And talk about demo. That is blue.
Oh my God! So.
Like, it's my good side, man. It dang pretty sissy down like that.
Do I have to? Will any of you be surprised if a sex tape of myself and my future wife Jeffrey Cop gets put on the internet? Oh my God, Adam, you ignorant slut!
With the racking ass she has, not really.
There goes Adam's potential hookup with that chick from Alaska who converted to Mormonism.
I'm trying.
Oh man, the rack on her, unbelievable. My goodness.
Boy, I wish I had that.
If
Boomhauer ends up having kids, will it look like him, Amy, or one of his inbred friends? I say
MW55.
Oh, wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see. Inquiry minds one note. Because Shrub won yesterday, does that mean that his golden wife swallowed and spit last? Oh my God.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Took one. The first of the 8 ropes went in her eye, though.
Oh.
That's an image for sure.
Alright, before we go to the plugs, we were supposed to do this earlier, but because Adam had to do something, we couldn't. So, Adam, you want to go ahead and do what you gotta do?
For sure. So every time I go on Fox or NASCAR, NBC, or any of these NASCAR pages, I always find these idiots who support Pukeamania, and basically all the comments I read were from this stupid Pukeamania doing yoga and standing on her head, and I'm just like, this is really what qualifies as news. But I'm like, oh wait, I forgot, it's NASCAR on Fox. They're paid to kiss that trashy whore's ass. So I decided to basically go on a little bit of a good one. This is my best one so far, of this one girl who said, yeah, I don't know why I should be jealous of somebody who can't do anything on the track, blah, blah, blah. And I just have these idiots saying, jealous much? I wonder if you can do better. And I just said, jealous of someone who has to have 2 lucky dogs a week to finish inside the top 20? Jealous of someone who basically had to blow her way to the top and still hasn't done shit? And don't give me that bullshit about winning the pole for the Daytona 500, because that ain't shit. Jealous of someone who's nothing more than a marketing machine and nothing but hype. Jealous of someone who's driving for one of the biggest teams in Sprint Cup and finishes outside the top 15 every week. My God, you Danica retards just as bad as Johnson fans. Most of you are delusional as shit. You think she's such a great driver and she hasn't even come close to doing anything remarkable. Janet Guthrie is the only female that made it to Cup and had actual talent. Don't know who she is? Of course you don't, because you're dumbasses who are only on this bandwagon because she's the only chick in Cup. Johanna Long is not only better looking, she's more talented than Danica. But she's not in Sprint Cup, therefore Danica is better. Yeah, no. Johanna drove her ass off in mid-level equipment, while Danica basically wrecked her finish shitty every week. In 98 Cup races, she's only finished on the lead lap 20 times. The other 79 races, she's finished a lap down or more. Oh, and just to add, this girl's a lot better looking than Miss Hummer, so quit drinking the Kool-Aid. And then I went on one where I said, This is, if it's not a Dale Jr. article or Johnson article, it's a Danica article. Also, I wonder if she can stand on her head while giving some mean head. And this girl's like, "You're gross, almost as big of a joke as NASCAR has become." And I'm like, "Never said I wasn't." And yet you're sticking up for one of the biggest, probably the biggest joke in NASCAR. Hypocrite much? But basically, these Pukeamaniacs proved that they're one of the worst fan bases in all of NASCAR, along with Jimmy Johnson fans. They're delusional. They only like the driver because of a certain hype, like the bandwagon. Some people like her because she's a chick. Some people like her because they think she has talent, which is hard to believe. And most people like her because she has tits and an ass. Well, actually, she doesn't really have tits. She's basically a member of the itty bitty titty committee, and her ass is well, it's forgettable. I mean, honestly. So Pukeamaniacs, you obviously have disproven that you have really no mind whatsoever, and I'm just sad that I have to be related to being the same species as you. Like, Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Okay. We're part of the Nerdport Network. There's 5 shows, including us. There's an independent point of view, The Blind Side, Wrestling Debate, and my show, other show with Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Dirty Divas. Facebook.com/groups/NASCAST 500 is our group page. Facebook.com/the Network is the network's page. We have a Twitter at NASCAST 500. I'm on Twitter at Elizabeth Moxley. I am definitely not safe for work, and I'm an equal opportunity offender.
I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Adam Wilson Writer, YouTube.com 1988. I'm running my NASCAR blog, AdamCrockett94.wordpress.com. I've written articles from my page, from Phil's Unfiltered blog, from about Larson, and a couple from our buddy Chuck's SaveStockCarRacing.com page. And before we go any further, do us a favor and support Chuck and his GoFundMe, and go like Save Stock Car Racing, because it's one of the only true NASCAR pages that actually cares about the sport and isn't buying into the bandwagon. I'm on Twitter at the Desert Bandit. I only go on there just to see what's going on at the race weekend. Did bullshit with Phil and possibly piss off some people. I'm also on. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page, youtube.com. Check in the search bar NASCAST 500, and you'll find every episode from day 1 all the way till now. And don't forget to follow Richard 17.
Danica's back door. I'm on. No loop. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/PhilipGMatthew. I'm on Twitter at PhilipGMatthew. I usually post different racing, mostly racing and sport-related retweets, or I tweet my own 2 cents. My blog is the Unfiltered blog, philipgmatthew.wordpress.com. With my great work that I have these days, I'm probably going to spend a little more time focusing on that and focusing on what I really love, which is my racing and cars and women, and instead of the bullshit jobs that I have to do to I guess function, even though it's not really making me function. And let's have a good and safe 4th of July weekend. We'll be back next week.
All right, with that being said, for my buddies Adam and Phil, I'm Elizabeth. Have a nice day.
Only one You're gonna burn in hell. I'll burn in hell. You can't believe all the things I've done wrong in my life. Without even trying, I've lived on the edge of a knife. Well, I'm playing with fire and I don't want to get myself burned. To thine own self be true, so I think that it's time for a turn. Before I burn in hell, I'll burn in hell. Take a good look in your heart, tell me what do you see? It's black and it's dark, now is that how you want it to be? It's up to you, what you do will decide your own fate. Make your choice now, for tomorrow may be far too late. And then you'll burn in hell. Don't you see? I'll burn in hell. You're gonna burn in hell. Don't you think? I'll burn in You're gonna burn in hell. You're gonna burn